My Africans, I have always said there is no revolution that can take place in Africa, in any single country, without the youth participating in it. The president of Kenya, William Ruto, has pushed the poor far too deep, far too hard, that the youth of Kenya had to rise up and push back against the proposed financial bill that seeks to tax the Kenyan people to death. What is it that we can learn from the youth uprising from Kenya? So many people have perished in fighting against this financial bill. William Ruto has finally given in and withdrawn this crazy taxation on the poor people. Let's talk about that and much more.
Welcome to King Said So, Africa's one land, one language, one currency, one army on King Said So. Africans can unite. Your Pan-Africanist podcast. Enjoy.
Peace in Pan-Africanism to all my African brothers from all around the world. Welcome back to King Says So. I'm your host, King 053, Mr. Easy Imali, and we're back at it again with another one. And this time around, we speak about the uprising of the youth in Kenya. Let me start by saying, Jambo, habari, mimi na King, nina furaha kukutana na wewe. That is Kiswahili saying, hello, my name is King. It is a pleasure to meet you. Let's speak our Kiswahili, guys. Wow, the youth of Kenya has shown, the parliament of Kenya has shown the president of Kenya flames, literally marching to parliament, protesting in the streets, going out and saying enough is enough. You people don't realize the power you have when you have drawn the line. The problem with us Africans is that we draw the line and wipe it and allow politicians to bully us into corners. We see that these politicians are not serving us as the people who voted for them. They're going against the wishes of the people, and we allow them to kill us slowly with constitutions, with laws, with taxation, and all of these type of things that they are doing in parliament because they live a comfortable life. How much more must we cry to our politicians and they don't listen? The Kenyan youth said enough is enough. The Kenyan youth rose up and said, we are going to take this fight to the streets. Yes, we might not make it back home, but it is for a good cause. You cannot tax us on sanitary pads, on bread, on petrol and diesel, on bread, or on the basic needs, the food basket that every family needs. The taxation is crazy because you, the government, you're not creative enough to work the minerals of this country, of any African country, to benefit the people and benefit the government of that country. Our politicians can't think. Our politicians can't implement strategies that can benefit the people. They don't have the balls to challenge the people that actually owns the mines, the people that actually owns the minerals. How rich is Kenya with minerals? But today, you have them switching to the people and, imposing high taxes on basic goods. This is what is happening now. The president of Kenya had to wait for people, young men, to be attacked by police with live ammunition. Those same police are poor. Those same police, they are struggling. Those same police, their family are in the street. Those same police don't have nothing. But they are the ones using live ammunition to protect the parliament and unlive the young people. Last time I saw, the number was in its mid-20s. So now, what is the president going to do? Let's listen to what Mr. William Ruto, of which we all were happy when this man was elected from passing the baton, grabbing the baton from Uhuru. We were all happy. Say, wow, this is a progress into a right direction in terms of Pan-Africanism. Because Ruto, he played that role of Pan-Africanism so well. When you heard him speak, you were like, ah, man, this is what we need. But he's changing into another thing that we don't understand. It took him young people, to be shot dead in the streets for him to respond rationally. And this is what he said.
Speak to the future of our country. Again, together. And this will be on matters that are contained in the bill and matters that the people of Kenya have canvassed in the conversation that has been going on. In this regard as well, I am directing for immediate further austerity measures to reduce expenditure, starting with the office of the president, the entire presidency, and extending to the entire executive arm of government. Operational expenditure in the presidency be reduced to remove allocations for the confidential fort, reduce travel, hospitality, purchase of motor vehicles, renovations, and other expenditures. This will cover the entire presidency and also the executive arm of government. I also propose that equally, Parliament, the judiciary, and county governments, working with the National Treasury, also undertake budget cuts and austerity to ensure that we do live within our means, respecting the very loud message that is coming from the people of Kenya. And let me confirm that I have discussed with many stakeholders. I will be meeting some of them shortly after this meeting on charting a way forward that makes sure that we carry the whole nation in this very important journey as we go into the future as a country. Let me also confirm that as we deal with austerity, the loud message on dealing firmly, decisively, and expeditiously with corruption is a matter that we have discussed and we have agreed that it will take the front banner as we go into the future. We will continue to do this and carry out this very important conversation. And I want to remind us that we should proceed within the foundational principles upon which our nation is founded, namely constitutionalism, adherence to the rule of law, and respect for constitutional institutions. We must continue to operate within the parameters of the law. I thank you. And listening keenly to the people of Kenya who have said loudly that they want nothing to do with this Finance Bill 2024, I concede, and therefore I will not sign the 2024 finance bill, and it shall subsequently be withdrawn. And I have agreed with these members that that becomes our collective position.
There you hear it, ladies and gentlemen. The president had to set this stupid bill aside. This is exactly what is going to happen in any African country when the youth rises up to the occasion and say enough is enough. I've always asked, what is the fight of every generation? What is the political agenda? What is the political what is the political goals and achievement of every generation in the history of Africa? When you come back to South Africa, you can tell what was the political agenda for the Mandelas and the likes. You can tell what was the political agenda for Thabo Mbeki and the likes. You can tell Thabo Mbeki and Jacob Zuma. You can tell what was the political agenda to the Sharpeville massacre. You can tell what was the political agenda for the youth of 1976 in South Africa. You can tell. And then the question is, in our generation, when we are no longer here, what are they going to say about us? Here is the youth of Kenya. They have written their names in the history books of Kenya, that they have stood up and said, from here and not further, enough is enough. What is it that you have learned? What is it that you have learned? No country wishes to see their people rise up and go in the streets. I mean, in South Africa, it happened recently in the July unrest. It happened recently, I believe, last of last year. It happened recently in South Africa. It was not a nice scene when you saw those people in South Africa in the streets. It was not a nice feeling. It's not something that I wish for my people. Why is it that our politicians have to see us die first before they do the right things? Now you are trying to reduce expenditure of government. Only now, after people have died. That's what you are trying to do. You are trying to reduce the amount of travel. This is what you are trying to do now after people have died. Couldn't the government say, before we impose this tax, this financial bill, let's look at first here in government, what is it that we are overspending on? We are traveling too much. Can't we cut on the traveling? The guest houses that we are choosing, can't we choose cheaper guest houses? Can't we cut these cars? Can we not upgrade these cars? Can we save those cars? Why is it that the government can't do that? We know the government can do that because Ibrahim Traoré of Burkina Faso did it. He got in there and cut everyone's salaries. Say, hey, getting too much money. Ibrahim said, no, you guys are getting paid too much money. We're cutting, including my salary. I'm cutting it. You understand what I'm saying to you? Why is it that it has to get to this? You have to do a budget cut only after people have died, and still say that you want to deal with corruption only after our people have died. Our brothers and sisters are dead now. I heard he said a number of 6. I saw a higher number on media report. But whatever, one life is just a life too much. You understand what I'm saying? I want to hear you guys, your opinion. I am, like I said, for me, this type of people going to the street is not what I want. I'm a brain. I'm a strategic person. I plan things. This one where people are, where the poor come out, there is no government that can stop the poor. I don't encourage it. You guys have heard me say it many times in my channel. I don't encourage our poor brothers and sisters. You cannot go and fight. You don't have ammunition. You don't have a strategy. You don't know the art of war. You don't know how to properly position yourself. This thing ends up becoming a looting spree where people are breaking into business. I don't encourage such things. But these things are inevitable if the government does not address what the poor. You cannot choose to forget about the poor and do as you please as the higher middle class and the upper class. You cannot choose. You cannot choose to brush off the poor and think about yourself only as parliamentarians and politicians who are just living the large life while everyone in the country is living poor. It's going to happen in almost all the countries in Africa. It's something that we don't want, but continue ignoring the people. This is going to happen country by country, where the youth and the poor come up and say, we can't take it anymore. So unfortunate. Let's continue praying for our African brothers and sisters in Kenya and all over. Actually, like I said, every African country actually is at the verge of this thing. At the verge, man. It's just around the corner. It can happen. It just takes one wrong statement, one wrong move from a government, one wrong move from the president. Just like that, the poor people will say, but we won't survive. If you don't want to listen to us, we are coming for you. That's what the poor people has done in Kenya. And hey, man, it's sad, man, to see us Africans with all the minerals underneath our ground. God has given us a pregnant land, but those minerals don't benefit us at all. So it's so heartbreaking for me to see such scenes in Kenya. But anyway, sometimes you need such things because our politicians understand only this language. Our politicians only understand this language. They understand the spilling of blood on the ground before they will wake up. I'm very disappointed in William Ruto. Like I said, he's a president that I liked. He's one of the presidents that I liked in Africa. You know, but I'm disappointed now. I have to write him off on my list, on my Pan-Africanist list. He was written off anyway, but now it's official. It's official. I don't see how he's going to fix this. For me, if someone dies, I can't respect you anymore. But anyway, thank you so much for tuning in, guys. Let's meet on the next one. Until we meet again, don't forget to pray. After you pray, stand up, African child. Do your best so that God can do the rest. Peace in Pan-Africanism. I salute you.